not a lot of people know, well, people who listen to the podcast know, but not a lot of our guests know. My name is James Logan, so I have been also named J-Lo,
Yes.
just to shorten it down. So I'm very excited that you get to work with my name twin. And I mean, from what I've heard about this film, it was an amazing process. So talk about your part in it a little bit and let's start at the very beginning. How did you even get a call for this part?
Yeah, pretty traditionally, I got an audition. Nancy Nair is the casting director, so whoop, whoop, thank you.
Whoop, whoop.
And got a call for an audition. I did the audition. It was kind of a crazy day because I think it was in the middle of pilot season, and so there was a lot going on,
Mm.
and I was having a hard time finding a reader. And I called my friend, and she was driving. I think she was driving to her grandmother's house. Pulled over on the side of the road. Was my
Wow.
reader with her like in her car.
Dedication.
Yeah, I
Nice.
was like, that's the real one right there.
That's right.
And then like auditioned for a couple of different parts and eventually got a call back pretty quickly, I believe. And then I found out I booked it and I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. Like great. And that's kind of how it all started. And then things I think moved pretty quickly after that. And we started filming and yeah, it was great. I met Jennifer on the first day of set. She was lovely and really thoughtful and shared with us her passion about this project and what
Mm,
this was and really wanted to relay that to us so that we could assist in telling her story as best we could.
mm.
It was great.
So, because for anybody who might not be familiar, it's called This Is Me Now. And it's basically like a fictionalized, not fictionalized version of her life, right? Like at the time she was dating Ben, is that right? Is it kind of that little section of her life that she's telling it at that point?
No, I think it's more about it's like, it's called This Is Me Now, a love story. It's a
Okay.
love story of her love life. It's the story of her
Mm,
love life. So I wouldn't say that it necessarily focuses on that particular period of time because I think
mhm.
she said like everybody knows that story. It was very
Right.
public.
Yeah.
Right.
It focuses, I think, more on the things around that people may not know, and her experiences and the ups and the downs and the discovery of how important self-love is and healing
Yeah.
is, like healing of your inner child, and coupled with you know the trials and tribulations of love, and also trying to consistently believe that love exists for everyone and it can be everlasting, and it's available to all of us if we
Mm.
believe, we hope.
Well, you nailed it right there, I think, because before we can have everlasting love, before we know that we're worthy of that, right, and that it can exist for everybody, self-love. You have to love yourself first, right? You have to figure that out because you're not, in my opinion, I don't feel like a human being is capable of giving or receiving that type of love until they love themselves and work on the dark side and the shadows and have to, like you said, heal and get to a point where you know you deserve that type of love and get that. So I'm so glad you brought that up, and I'm thrilled that they're doing a film that explores that. And she kind of, I love too that you said she talks about the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows and the tribulations, and because it's not easy. It's not, I can only imagine trying to have the life that she has and maintain the balance between a normal love life and being in a relationship and a marriage and all that and then doing what she does, right? It's unreal. So I'm thrilled that she's doing this, and it's in correlation with a new album too, right? Like, isn't it?
It is. So the new album is also called This Is Me Now. Yeah. So
Okay.
the album supports the project, and it's a very fun project at the same time. We talk a lot about love, but it's also really fun. There's some incredible dancing in that project, lots of singing, her new music, which is just dope, and yeah, it's great. And I get to have the privilege of playing one of her best friends called the Idealist.
Uh
Also really fun because that character is so different from who I am.
So, I mean, talk about that experience a little bit because with it being so different from who you are, do you get to play with different type of reactions to things? And in that moment that you're, rehearsing or on set about to shoot, are you thinking about, okay, I would do this, but my character needs to do this. I need to portray that. So is it kind of like that dual threat, dual double-edged sword type of situation?
No, I think it's more about like preparation. I think all of that should hopefully be taken care of in preparation.
You would hope. You would hope.
You're not like so worried about that while you're on set. That seems really stressful.
Yeah.
But I do think it's really fun to step into someone that's really just not like you, and that an idealist is, really believes in, it's a romantic, and
Yeah.
that's not really me.
I don't know. The shirt says different. You're like all Valentined
Yeah.
up with the shirt.
It's so true. I mean, I like romance, but I'm not a romantic, and I think romantics can be a little fantastical and thought, hoping for what could or should, and supposed to like what is,
Sure.
which isn't necessarily me. But I think it's fun. I do think in terms of what you said, like the reactions, I think are just so different. Like there's a scene in the film where there's a gun that drops to the floor, and like my character's reaction is not what my reaction my reaction would have been crazy. I would have lost my shit. But my character is just very like sure and like focused. So I think that part of it's just really fun because it's just so different. And I think, that's sort of the fun of acting, is just stepping into somebody else's reality and letting the moment and everything just be true.
For sure. And
Oh,
sorry, Logan.
go ahead.
Is she very structured? Is she like, how does she approach? Is she very like, you're locked in and this is what she wants? Or did you have some creative liberty with your character to be able to ad lib and play a little bit? I feel like she'd be open. That's just the vibe I get.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like we did a lot of improvisation on this project also, which is incredibly fun. She's really good at it. And she's funny. So it's a good time. I would say absolutely, definitely open. I think the big thing is really making sure that we understand the overall story and
Right.
what we're doing here for that.